Okay. So probably like 99% of the youth up here are part of the Youth Council design team, and this is the first time we all have gotten together in person. Everything has been on Zoom, and I have Maddie and Maeve helping me with the presentation, and then I have Alex, Lizzie, and Maeve are going to share just kind of their experiences. I wanted to just kind of explain the evening. So we're going to be doing this presentation. It is being live streamed because a lot of the parents and family members and friends and other people want to see this. So so that's really exciting. So it's on the BAPC, or Building a Positive Communities website right now. And we are hoping to do another community presentation online for those who couldn't be here tonight. So speaking of, any Youth Council design team members want to help with that, come see me. After we do the presentation, we're going to open it up for questions from any of the adults that are here. Maybe you can introduce yourselves, if just so people know who you are. That would be great. And then there's going to be food downstairs. So we have a deli platter, cookies, chips, drinks. So you guys can eat right after this. We will need a minute to set up. And you can just hang out. Like, the space is yours for the evening. And I think that is all I have to say for introductions. I just wanted to, actually, Diana, I am just gonna call you up for a second because I realized I forgot my notes. So Diana Wally is my right-hand woman. She's been really my colleague through all of this, and this is something that we'll tell you a little history on, but I couldn't have done this without her. She has so much history in this community around empowering youth, and I get to work with her and learn from her, and I cry sometimes when we talk about how amazing she is. So let's give Diana an applause for all her years. And she's going to share with you right now, and I'm sorry to make you do this, but I'd love for you to share about a little bit about the history.
Oh my gosh, would be so glad to.
Okay, so why don't you come sit here and
okay.
And you can take your mask off if you want. I just realized that might be easier.
So Reggie, can you put that slide up? It's
one?
for the history. And hello everybody. I'm so glad to be part of this and to have been behind the scenes with all of you young people that have been on Zoom. It's so good to see you in person. This is about the history of this work. And many of you have probably been part of it. Some of you are new. But you'll see here a whole set of youth initiatives that have led up to this youth council. The first being the Brattleboro Area Community Team. Was anybody here? Michelle, I'm wondering.
No, I don't think so.
Because we had many meetings here.
Here at the club.
But it was a mixture of town leaders and youth who had retreats and focused on asset development over a period of 4 years. The retreats led to community planning. The next was youth-initiated grants, and that was such a great partnership with the Vermont Department of Health that led to $15,000 a year for the county. And what it was the youth in the different supervisory unions became a mini foundation. And they had their peers make applications for different types of community projects that they felt would be really dynamic. So that went for 4 years, and we wish that that could be renewed, maybe as part of our youth council, who can tell? These are all ideas that can germinate. The next was called the Listening Project and was sponsored by Youth Services when Allison Villars was the director there for a number of years. And basically it was focusing on youth that really had challenging lives and probably were pretty invisible in our community. There were special peer adult or youth and adult teams who did interviewing of maybe 20 or 30 of those youth around our county and got feedback from them about the greatest needs for engaging youth more effectively. And interestingly enough, the recommendations from that report are all guidance for this work that we're doing right now. The Youth Opportunity Planning process evolved from the Listening Project. There was a Youth Council, Youth Services report that was called the Listening Project that acted as a guide for, again, a collaborative team of adults and youth to do some community planning. And the final was HAY, United Way. United Way really got part of the youth opportunity planning process and decided to hire a staff person, Julia Hampton, for a number of years, who focused on youth needs, partnering with businesses in the community and a variety of other ways that United Way engaged more closely with youth. And theirs was an example of having youth on their board as voting members. And so that was a model that perhaps is something that the benchmarks from our quality youth development work can replicate as we go forward. So that's our history leading up to today.
Thank you, Diana. Diana rocks, because I literally did not tell her she was doing that, so thank you so much. She has the history. What?
I'll say we're back.
Oh, okay, yes, we're back. Oh, I forgot to introduce myself, by the way. Thank you. So I'm Cassandra Holloway, and I'm the director of Building a Positive Community. We have had a history of doing substance abuse prevention work about 30 years, or 20 years, sorry, 25, I have no idea. I think it's 25. And we are now expanding to youth empowerment through schools, district, as well as through the community, such as this. So if you could go to the next slide, Reg. No, there should be one between. There, no, maybe not. Okay, well then I'll just tell you. So, oh no, this is right. This is where Maeve comes in. So come on in, Maeve, and you can talk a little bit about QID. Thanks.
Are we going to? Okay. Are we going to this side?
Say it again?
Are we going to this side?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So the QYD project, the Quality Youth Development, is a group that I've been a part of. Cassandra, Diana, Kevin, Miriam, and Jamel. Like, can you all stand up so everybody knows who you are? There is benchmarks that we have to achieve to be a youth certified community, and one of them was actually creating the Boys and Girls Club at Brattleboro. It's a welcoming, inclusive, and accessible space for youth to feel themselves. We also found funding for the community to create youth programs and other ways to help youth. And a professional youth mentoring program that was also...
So, Big Brothers, Big Sisters.
Yeah, that was Big Brothers Big Sisters that we created. Then the Youth Are Welcome business, which the logo is actually right there, and it was made by Miriam. So, youth access to social services and resources
Those are posters, remember?
yeah, we put up 211 posters and teen line posters so that we could make sure that youth in the community had the resources they need. We also worked on effective recruitment of youth people and communities, which is a big part of what we have right now. And the youth vote, which
That's what the town voted for, like you can
Yeah.
get to vote. Yeah.
the town, this was like a special benchmark that we added on, and the youth can now vote in elections.
Not yet, but the town,
They're
the town
going
has
to.
proved it, but the state, the governor has vetoed it, so we're waiting to see. Yes, Liz?
The House overrode the governor's veto today,
No way!
Oh my gosh.
and so we're waiting to hear what the Senate has.
Okay.
Good.
Next slide.
Next slide. So our future benchmarks are Youth Council, which is very close and upcoming to being a benchmark that we've completed, and Youth Conference or Legislative Forum, and like that is one of our goals. Internship and employment opportunities, youth on boards of directors, so like having youth join other committees in town and being able to vote and make decisions on things that impact them.
Great. So the Quality Youth Development Project is it's national now. It's national. It started in Vermont, so Brattleboro in September became the third QID community in the nation. So that's pretty exciting. So the next slide, please. So we decided to create the Youth Council partly because we were inspired, but what's currently another bill up there at the state, which is a state youth council. So that was started by Vermont After School. They actually had youth doing a very similar process as just this design team. And Matt Wolf, who was part of that process, he works for the Vermont After School, helped our group in creating this local youth council. And if that passes, we're hopeful that we'll have representatives from our youth council on the statewide youth council. We usually, Diane and I really wanted to model the youth council on Bill Lofquist's key community development principles. If you could turn to the next slide, please.
What's that mean?
I'm going to tell you. So the principles are this: participation in decisions that shape strategies that affect the people that are being impacted, such as our youth. So community responsibility emerges when people work together towards a mutual desired goal that promotes their mutual well-being, and changing conditions together to promote mutual well-being for common good, personal growth, and community development. Okay. Could you go to the next slide, please? So our partners are the QID project and steering committee members. We just mentioned who they are. We actually have two other high school students that are part of the QID, Max Naylor and Jackson Heller. And we are looking for more high school members, but I think what's going to happen ultimately is the QID is going to be a subcommittee of the Youth Council, because you have to keep those benchmarks going. It's not just like a one and done. I mentioned the Vermont After School. They have provided us technical assistance and training facilitation. I'll talk a little more about what they'll be doing moving forward. And of course, another partner is the Boys and Girls Club, providing us this space, not just for tonight, but for ongoing time for our Youth Council to meet, which is huge for a nonprofit to have that, that partnership. You can go to the next slide, please. And I think this is where you come in, Maddie. You ready? Okay. You can look at your finger too. Oh, am I catching you? Did I catch you too early? This is you, Maeve, right? I think this is you, Maeve. Come on up. I'm so sorry, guys. Trying to include everybody, and I'm doing it too soon. So this is the partners. Okay, so you're going to talk about the purpose.
So the Youth Council's purpose is to advise the community on issues directly and indirectly related to youth, to promote more community service opportunities for youth, possibly internships and job opportunities as well. To scope the work will be determined by the youth membership of the Youth Council. The Youth Council's decision makers and more to come: the Brattleboro Select Board and town staff, WSESU School Board, United Way, Downtown Brattleboro Alliance, Brattleboro Museum and Arts Center and Latches Theater, and Brooks Memorial Library.
The Youth Council Design Team is made up of nearly 20 Brattleboro youth. We've met for 6 hours to discuss and make decisions on representation and inclusion, member selection, and application process, and preparation and support. Representation and inclusion. We have opened it to ages 11 to 21, ensuring diversity in the membership's experience and viewpoints. WSESU town's representation are ages, BIPOC, LGBTQ, income, English as their second language, ability. Representation and inclusion. Input from other youth through suggestion boxes, focus groups, interviews, surveys, tables at events, etc. Youth outside the council can participate in some committees.
You're right.
Membership. We only have up to 20 members, 3 service term a year, based on fall and spring school semester and summer vacation. Members can renew their membership up to age 21. Electronic and paper applications are required and selected by QID members and elected by community youth as a slate.
They're not both required. You can do one or the other.
There will be committees within the council, including meeting process / leadership, communications such as social media, community presentations, etc. Member recruitment selection, QID benchmarks, other topics and projects. Committees will be determined by the members. Committees will meet bi-weekly and full council will meet at the Boys and Girls monthly or bi-monthly.
Great. Thank you so much, Maddie. So we were just really impressed as the adults that were helping, working with the youth, really kind of facilitating it. Just all those decisions were made by the youth in this room. We really didn't know what was going to come from that. People were like, what's it going to look like? I'm like, we'll let you know. So that's what we're letting you know. So all of that, I just want to say thank you to all of you. There was so many deep discussions around these decisions, and some of those decisions were not easy, but they made it happen in 6 hours. So there's still some more decisions to be made. So we are going to do a retreat in August. I'm going to go through a timeline, but there will be a landmark retreat with the people who end up being selected for the Youth Council, and they're going to do team building and guiding principles. We're going to do this for Vermont After School. They're going to finalize some of those structural decisions that weren't quite decided on in the time that we had. They'll decide what committees they're going to be on, and we'll talk about how we're going to start up for the school year. So if you can go to the next slide, please. This is kind of who's been supporting the process. As you know, I mentioned myself, Diana Wally, Kevin O'Brien, and Reggie Martell, who's our tech guy here, and he's been amazing at documenting all of what we're doing and getting it out there. We partnered with Mart Wolf, as I mentioned, and Sarah Brunkhorst, which is from the QYD project. So they come to our meetings as well, and then of course Boys and Girls Club. We got the word out about this design team, and we continue to get help from these other organizations, which are Big Brothers Big Sisters, the Brattleboro Housing Partnership, Brattleboro Parks and Rec, the Brooks Memorial Library, the supervisory union staff, and school staffs, Youth for Change, and Youth Services. They all helped us to get the word out, and hopefully will continue. And so here is the launch. So we are now here, and as of the 15th, we will get that application onto the BAPC website, promote it. So go forth and have applicants for the between the ages of 11 and 21 to apply to be on the Youth Council. The applications will close on April 30th. The QYD membership will get together and select the youth that are going to be on the committee. There'll be a public voting. We're going to have a slate, basically young people between the ages of I don't know, whatever, probably 11 to 21 will be able to vote for the slate, meaning everybody's name will be there. And then as of June 1st, we'll have the elections completed. There'll be an orientation on June 6th, just to kind of get everybody like who's on it oriented. And then we'll get together again in August for the training. So that's what's to be expected. So you can expect a youth council in September.
Oh, no, not my face.
This is all the wonderful faces you see.
No, don't.
It's so good.
Okay.
It's so awesome. Some people we didn't even see until this
That's
moment
okay.
at the very end. So now I'm going to introduce
don't look at her.
3 people to speak. So I would like to start with Lizzie to come and talk about her experience on the Youth Council Design Team.
Thank you, Lizzie. Hello, I am Lizzie. The Youth Council Design Team was a great way to grow as a community, listen to others' ideas, and help keep an open mind. It was also a good way to hear others' ideas and develop your own. Something I have gained from the Youth Council Design Team is that sometimes it's good to step out of your shell and that you have people that will listen and support you. Everyone was a big group and everyone had a voice that got heard. We were not alone. We were all a team. Thank you.
And now I'm going to come up to you. Yep.
First off, I want to thank everyone here for coming, and for those who attended virtually, the facilitators who worked tirelessly to put this all together and make everything perfect for us, and lastly, everyone on the design team who put in their time and effort to come to these meetings and develop a youth council. This small group of talented youth has come together and formed an unforgettable experience for me, and one I will never forget. We had debates that shaped the youth council we've all imagined. The design team and we as a team stood up as leaders and role models for other youth in the community. We also would never have pulled this off without teamwork. We bounced ideas off each other, had small group and large group discussions, and compromised with our ideas. In the process of creating this team, we've also gotten to know each other better. This has helped us as we all come from different experiences. We can then collaborate and work together to reach a common goal. And we have come and reached our ideal of a youth council. I hope that this sets an example of what we want our youth council to look like. I can't wait to see how it all turns out, and I encourage the youth in our community and the Brattleboro area to think about signing up and make a positive impact on others' lives. And thank you for all the members, and I so enjoyed working with you. Thank you.
Now I'm going to call up Alex.
Hello. So we've all heard about, from our amazing presenters, about what the Youth Council is. But one question that you may be thinking is, why do we need a Youth Council? Well, one reason that's personally really important to me is a chance to prove that kids can do more than adults expect. Kids can do so many amazing things, and I feel like sometimes because of our age, we are overlooked. We're assumed that almost like mindless, that we go to school, we do homework, we do after school activities, and that's all we do. But we have feelings and thoughts, and we can have political opinions like adults do. We can have so many opinions that I personally think deserve to be shared and would be very beneficial. I also think that giving different perspectives on things that the school board discusses, discusses would be amazing, because I personally, a lot of changes and decisions have been made by people like people who are on the school board that directly affect my life and my friends' lives that I had no say in whatsoever. And I felt like I had no control in it whatsoever. And the youth council has completely redefined my definition about what I can do. I've gained so much confidence, and I feel like I can just truly be myself and that my opinions matter. We all definitely got, we all learned values on how to solve disagreements with each other. Because, I mean, when building a group where essentially we discuss our opinions, it's very important to be able to solve disagreements. And one of our amazing adult leaders said we solve disagreements so incredibly well, better than some adults. But I think that really meant a lot to me, just to show that kids can have adult conversations and can have adult opinions and can project them politely. Like, I've definitely disagreed with people on the youth council, but we've always solved it. And some people didn't get what they got. Some people were upset with the decision that they made, but they sucked it up because, you know, the decision was made and they still had a chance to say why they thought that. And it also was amazing to hear different people's perspectives. I know that my personal opinion was changed multiple times because of the amazing youth that were in this group. And I'd just like to thank all the adults who worked to put this together and finally make us feel like we matter. Thanks.
I get pretty verklempt sometimes with this group. Yeah, it's like I have worked with adults in many environments, and there's nothing. It's so refreshing and inspiring, and quite honestly, they modeled what I wish I could see more from older people in this community, and I hope that is something that we get to experience when the Youth Council comes into this community, not just to hear from them, but to see how they work together. So I'm opening up for any questions from the adults in the space. It's totally fine. Or any comments, if you don't mind. You can just speak from where you are. And then if any of the youth want to answer it other than me, feel free to come on up. So no pressure, but I just want to open it up for that. Yes, Liz. This is Liv McLaughlin from the Select Board, everybody.
Yeah,
So she's from the Brattleboro Select Board.
I'm the chair of the Brattleboro Select Board, and I value what you all have accomplished, and I hope that you'll come to the Select Board and present to us so that a wider audience can see the community that you're building, which is, in a sense, very similar to what the Select Board is. It's a building the community in the same way. So I welcome you all, and I hope to see you at one of our meetings.
Thank you, Liz.
All right.
Yay.
I said I was going to talk. I'm Steve Perrin. I'm the principal of the high school. And I want to issue an invitation to the council to come and meet with me, the administrative team at the high school, to talk about what your concerns are, how we can work to make the school better, as well as how we can work to kind of coordinate your work with the work that we're doing every day. Your passion and energy is inspiring, and I want to thank you all for everything you've done, and the adults as well. But you guys have done a great job, and thank you for everything you're doing for your town and for your youth. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. Steve is the principal, Mr. Perrin is the principal at the Brattleboro Union High School. Thank you. And if any of the other adults just want to introduce themselves that are here, I know there's only a few of you, but I think maybe there's only one more actually. Sorry, just you.
me. So I guess I should follow. I'm Yoshi. I'm the town manager. I work for the select board. They appointed me, and I think it's important for what you guys are doing and what you're representing here. I'm new here, so getting to know you, you know a lot more about town than I even know. But similar to the other invites, it'd be wonderful to sit down with you once you've established and come over ideas and what we can do together. I know you have a lot of ideas, and I'm sure talking to some of our different department heads, they would love to hear what you guys have to say. So, you're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, so that wraps up our presentation unless anybody else has anything else to say. I know some of the adults here do have to scoot, so it's not personal. I pulled them in last minute, so feel free if you've got to go. I just wanted to say to the rest of the group, I said this before, but I'll say it again. You are my favorite part. This has been like the favorite part of my job. I've been doing this for 10 years. I just am so excited that I get to do this with you all. And I know not everybody is necessarily going to be on the youth council because there's only going to be 20, but I know that you'll be involved in some way. There's always opportunities. I'll keep you all engaged, even if you're not on the youth council, about what's happening in this community, so you still can speak with adults, or be on the committees. But I just wanted to I just am excited about this new connection that I've made with all of you, and I can't wait to get to know you even more and longer, and start making things happen with you all. So thank you so much. And I'm gonna go set up some food so you guys